Good evening, I'm Asad Ahmed. A 91-year-old war veteran says he'll continue his battle with the government to win his right to vote. Harry Shindler moved to Italy in the 1980s and so he's no longer allowed to vote here in Britain. Well, a court looking at the case has ruled in favour of the government, but Mr Shindler says he won't surrender his democratic right. Beake reports.
There is no other city in the world like London. I come from here. You know, I know all the pavements and so on in London. It really is like coming back home, you know.
For 30 years he's lived in Italy, a country he helped liberate in the Second World War. But 91-year-old expat Harry Shindler's annual trip home is different this time. He's gathering support for a final battle to win the right to vote in British elections.
We had a war to defend our right to vote here. Many people who took part in that war, me included, we weren't told at the time that if you leave this country you won't be able to vote again.
Other countries such as France have fewer restrictions on expats voting, and London was an important battleground for François Hollande in the last French presidential campaign. But this week, European judges ruled against Harry Shindler. They said his human rights weren't being violated by British law, which says British expats lose their voting rights after 15 years abroad. Ultimately, though, this is a decision for the British government. The Cabinet Office says the current 15-year rule will be kept under review. But Harry Shindler needs to convince British ministers if he's to win this war. Nonetheless, he says he'll appeal against the European judgment and go to the UN.
No, this is, if you like, a battle that's been lost. But normally, as you know, the Brits lose the battles, but they win the war, and we intend winning this one.
And a senior politician in Brussels, the European Commissioner for Law and Justice, has backed Harry Shindler's case. She says it's wrong people who move abroad lose their voting rights. That's the sort of support this war veteran wants to gain. Nick Beake, BBC London News.
A 15-year-old boy has been arrested after an acid attack on a woman in East London. The